Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
There is a big fight this weekend, Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
UFC 231, if you recall, Max Holloway pulled out of the first fight against Brian Ortega because I don't know, he was an amazing journalist. Some guy with a real keen eye was interviewing Max Holloway, I think.
You do have a really keen eye.
And he was like, wow, no one else would spot this, but as a fighter, this journalist in particular, I think he was a really good-looking guy.
You call yourself a journalist right now? It's because it's making me sick inside.
He was a good-looking guy.
Handsome guy.
The reporter in question that was playing reporter for that day on UFC Tonight, wasting his talents, I might add, seemed to find that Holloway was slurring his words.
Yeah.
And he pulled out of the fight. Max Holloway had concussion. And anyway, now I think he's recovered, and here it is, Lewis.
Here it is. We're going to get it this weekend, which is, what is the date? December
8th.
8th. Holy shit. Saturday night, December 8th from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Yeah, dude. Look, Max Holloway. First of all, did we ever find out what happened? What was the official? It was sort of a mystery, right? They never officially gave a ruling on what that was, right?
I heard
there was a rumor.
Yeah, this is probably the rumor. He got knocked out by one of his sparring partners. As I say, that is a rumor. I haven't heard that from him. Yeah, he got knocked out in training about a week before the fight or something like that. Yeah, training for MMA fights is tough. There you go. So that was that. And then there was talk of whether or not he was ever going to fight again because, I've been knocked out. I don't know if have you ever been knocked out, Lewis?
One time.
Yeah.
One time.
What, in a fight?
No. It was in the 7th grade. We were in gym class and we were playing basically, I guess, what is a version of flag football, I guess.
Right.
But it was almost like tag. But we had a flag hanging out of our back pocket and we're running. You had to run and get to the wall, okay? And if they grabbed the tag out of your pocket, you were out or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I almost got to the wall, and the kid went to go grab me, but he pushed me at the same time as I'm diving for this wall, and my hands just went to the side for some reason, and I just fucking speared the wall with my head, just head first into this wall. I remember getting up and then just passing out, and then waking up in the nurse's office 2 hours later. Guaranteed I was concussed. Never went to a hospital. Never discussed it again.
But when you woke up and you came around, you were probably talking normally.
Yeah, I was pretty normal. I was just kind of
okay then. Maybe a day or two later, you were fine.
Yeah. I was fine.
Yeah, because I've been knocked out, and lots of people get knocked out, and then you see them backstage or doing their interviews at the press conference, and they're fine. The point that I'm saying this is because, yes, Holloway apparently was knocked out in training, but that a week, 10 days, 2 weeks later, still slurring his words and suffering ill effects.
Yeah.
It was really worrying to see. It was. And that's what I said. That's what made me and everybody else, we were led to believe that it was more serious because, that is serious side effects. But, the good news is Dana White said that he's completely fine. He was asked about that on Fox at the weekend. Somebody said, is he fine? He went, yeah. We've checked him out. We've had all kinds of tests and screening. 100%. So first of all...
And the UFC is terrified of somebody getting hurt in the cage in a very serious way. So they put a lot of precautions in the way to make sure that you guys
absolutely
aren't going in there and fighting where you're hurt or you could possibly be, killed.
Oh, for sure. I remember when my retina detached, and then I was booked to fight Mark Munoz, and it redetached, and I called Dana on the phone, and I said, listen, I got bad news. My retina's redetached. I said, but listen, hold on. They can do an operate. They can operate on me tomorrow. I was still trying to save the fight because you want to get paid. You're training for a fight, so I'm like, listen, give it a month, and I can be back in there. He said, and Dana was like, stop, shut the hell up. Are you serious? Listen, the fight's off, Mike. Okay, the fight. And all he cared about was the well-being of my eye. Do you know what I mean? He's like, there's plenty of fights. Okay, which I had to respect. I really did.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Holloway is fighting Brian Ortega, and it's great to see because often you'll see fights in the UFC, and for a multitude of reasons, perhaps one guy's just been beaten, somebody's injured, whatever the case may be. the title holder doesn't always face the number one contender.
Right.
For a number of reasons, as I say, in this circumstance, it really, truly is Max Holloway versus the next very best person, because Brian Ortega, man, has looked absolutely sensational in his last few fights.
Knocked out Frankie Edgar. I mean, that's crazy in itself. People don't knock out Frankie Edgar too easily.
And that was a vicious knockout as well.
First round. And to be honest with you, it's been a fucking year since we've seen Max Holloway. Max is a monster. You forget when somebody's off for a year, you just sort of forget. Max is so fucking good.
Yeah.
I as we're talking about it now, I'm actually getting really, really. I forgot that this fight was even coming up. He had a full year off. Had a knockout over Jose Aldo 2 in a row. Knockout over Anthony Pettis. I mean, this is one of the best fighters in the world. And to be honest with you, if he can get back into his winning ways and get a few big fights in a row, this is a guy who is. You're talking about super fights against a guy like Conor McGregor. This was a guy who fought Conor McGregor back in the day, and I think could really, really easily compete against him today.
Well, exactly. I was just looking up on my phone now. I wasn't ignoring you.
I know.
He's only 27. He was born 1991, so he's 27 years old. When he fought Conor McGregor, which was 5 years ago, he was 22 years old, so he's got nothing but better since then. And he went the distance with Conor, which I believe, other than Diaz, the only person to do that in the... Oh no, Khabib finished him. So yeah, and that was back then, and he's got so much better since then. I mean, and look at the win streak. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. A 12-fight win streak in the UFC.
Against killers. Ricardo Lamas, Cub Swanson, Anthony Pettis, Jose Aldo. I mean,
Jeremy
killers.
Stevens, Charles Oliveira, Cub Swanson, Cole Miller. These are top of the food chain guys. These are legendary guys. I mean, the way he ran through Jose Aldo twice was incredible. Yes, of course, Conor knocked him out in 13 seconds, and that was beautiful. But it's almost, in some ways, more impressive
Way
to
better,
systematically...
beat him, shut him down in the third round, but beat him completely
from pillar to post.
Yep. Oh my God.
In some ways, that is more impressive.
It is, because at the very least, you can say Jose Aldo, deep in his heart, believes he could beat Conor McGregor. I don't know if he feels that about Max Holloway right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, Conor McGregor, he's like, he caught me. He can convince him of the stuff that he just caught him for the rest of his life. And to be honest with you, I've said that, and I'll always say that. Like, that fight happens, it's not going to go down that way. 99 out of 100 times is not going to be a 10-second knockout, right? It's going to be
absolutely
a kickboxing match, and it's going to be at least somewhat of a war. Jose Aldo is a monster. To this day, he's a monster. I think that Max is an unbelievable fighter, and I'm excited to see him back. It's crazy that it feels like it's almost been longer than a year. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, it does feel like a long time. Incidentally, I think it was Toronto was his last fight as well against Jose Aldo. But one of them was Toronto anyway. But he's just so good everywhere. On the floor, he's very good. Obviously, striking is world class. He's a great guy as well. Very, very funny. I like Max. He's a cool mother effer. But Brian Ortega, man, I mean, he's legit as well. I mean, what's he on? He's on a
14-0, dude.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-fight win streak. Prior to that, they had that no contest against Mike De La Torre, which was overturned. Well, it was actually a win for him, but then Ortega tested positive.
What did he test positive for?
Yeah, let's have a look. What did he test positive for?
Say weed, say weed, say
no,
weed.
No. Josh Danilon.
I fucking hate it. Oh, I hate it. All I want to do is hear weed or coke. I want to hear that he's partying.
Yeah. So anyway, he got suspended for a year for that, I believe. Came back in 2015, got on a 7-fight win streak. And everyone talks about his jiu-jitsu. Predominantly, that's what he's known for. Very, very good submissions. But it's his striking that's been getting it done lately. But we'll see how he does against Max Holloway. It's a
fucking great fight.
It's a great fight. It's really hard to pick a winner. Honestly, I'm struggling. I'm leaning towards Max Holloway.
I'm leaning toward Ortega.
You are?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Undefeated, year layoff Max Holloway. We haven't seen Max in a year.
Correct.
Ortega's just knocked out Frank
Ortega's
Edgar.
big. He's big. He's got that weird, sleepy, stoned look to his eyes.
If the guy hasn't been beaten.
All dreamy and shit. Has his hair tied back. Dresses well. 6-pack for days. wears those tight jeans.
All right, bro. Where
I'm
we
leaning
going?
towards Ortega as well.
Yeah, he's fucking cut.
It's fucking ripped, bro. You see the state of him? Jesus Christ. Has a foundation that he never stops talking about.
Look, I think that when a guy is undefeated, it is very not only just undefeated, but a guy who's undefeated
With
who
incredible
just beat,
dress sense.
who also can dress like a motherfucker, but who a guy who's beaten Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, you know, legitimately number one contender. It is difficult for me to bet against him.
Yeah, but
especially
hold on.
a guy who has a year layoff.
All right, hold on a minute. You're right in what you say, and I agree.
I'm just doing the fucking science, baby boy.
Listen, I'm on the Ortega bandwagon as well, but I'm also on the Holloway bandwagon. Reason being is he's on a bigger. What was Ortega's record? How many you know?
14-0.
14-0. Okay.
With one no contest because he's a cheat.
All right, hold on. Ooh, but
I'll say it.
After getting beaten by Conor McGregor in a decision, Holloway's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's on a 12-fight win streak in the UFC. That's almost as many fights as Ortega has had in his career against the best opposition in the world, against the Jose Aldos, against the Anthony Pettis's, so on and so forth.
Yeah, but who knocked him out in training? Could be some fucking dude. We don't know. He's a changed man.
Yeah, but no, you're right. That might have lasting effects, and I guess that is the big thing that I'm worried about for Max's sake.
Yeah, on a serious note, probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think there was somebody at Team Alpha Male, I forget his name now, Chris Holdsworth, I think. He got concussed, I think, by TJ Dillashaw, and he never fought again. Apparently he was having, a lot of issues. I think it was Chris Holdsworth, if I'm wrong, I apologise. But I think it was TJ as well, and if I'm wrong, I apologise. I'm talking shit on everyone here. But concussions are serious. Now the UFC have done their due diligence and they've had him checked out medically. But you never know what the psychological effects may be. Maybe. And by the way, I'm only speculating here and just, assuming. Or in fact, I'm not even assuming. I'm just saying this could be one potential belief or effect for the sake of having a conversation on a podcast. Is that after getting knocked out like that, and him slurring his words for so long, he realizes now what the dangers are, and that perhaps stops him being quite as reckless in his fights, which made him so successful. You know what I mean? Right. There could be. I'm not saying there is. So a lot of questions will be answered when he fights next week, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm rooting for Max. No offense to Ortega. I've known Holloway longer. I like Brian Ortega. I like the way he fights. Comes from a good team. All respectful people. Wish them the best. But I'm interested to see how Holloway looks.
Yeah, and I think that it's great when you just. This is a great fight for the exact reason you said before, which is it's the number one and number two guy, and no matter what happens here, one of these guys emerges, a fucking star, somebody who should be, somebody who's super marketable. 15-0 in Ortega beats Max Holloway. It's great. Max Holloway comes back and beats Ortega. It catapults him into the next level, and I'm excited about it. I'm really excited about it.